what you're doing. All right. Thank everybody. Make sure you go and connect with Dr. Shaniqua, especially when it comes to taking care of yourself, self care. Right. I say all the time that self care is a verb. Let's change it and make it a verb. I self care every day. And again, it's not about the nails because y'all can see my nails are not done. Okay. But it's about taking care of you. And you have that choice to do that. You have the choice. And going along with the choice, our choice, we have a choice to become pretty healed. Okay. So listen, our next presenter is none other than Simene Walden. Okay. Simene Walden, what can I say about her? I can say a lot about her, but this would probably go on for far too long if I began to speak about Miss Simene Walden. What I do want to do is I want to bring her on up and let her take the stage because she gonna take it, flip it, turn it, do a couple cartwheels in that thing. But she's gonna help us learn how to become pretty healed. So thank you so much, Simene. I appreciate you.
Tamika, I don't know what I'm saying. Tamika, I appreciate you. And you know that one thing I love about you is that, you connect with people online, but hey, Latasha, how you doing? You connect with people online, but our connection is beyond online. It's beyond virtual. And I appreciate you for so many reasons. Because when I was really in a dark place, you would check on me. And so I'm pretty healed because I have people like you in my village. And so I'm thankful tonight. So thank you for the invite. Thank you for what you're doing. Thank you for continuing to inspire people all over. Thank you.
I can't help but to be y'all inspire me, okay? Y'all keep me going. I get my inspiration from watching my circle. I'm just like, you know what? I can't quit. I got to keep going. I got to become pretty healed, so I'm excited, okay? So we have Miss Simene Walden, the student teacher, also known as the student teacher. She's presenting to us on becoming pretty healed. It's on you, ma'am.
All righty. Thank you, beautiful ladies. Thank you to you, Latasha Jimerson. I am young. I'm definitely young, for real, young in age and young in heart. And it's amazing that you said that. And I know how, I'm excited when people that I connect with allow God to flow and make a schedule and fix a event or have people come up, because what the previous speaker, what Shanika was talking about, a lot of that lines up to exactly what I'm saying to you. And, with you, Latasha, saying, I look super young. What I found out is that people will allow their age to stop and stagnate them, or people will allow what they're thinking about their age or their mind, or what the thoughts they have in their mind, to stop them from doing something. So even though I am I always say this, like when I turn 40, I said I'm gonna be 40 and fine. I'm 42, almost about to be 43, right? And one thing about it is, sometimes if you start looking at what the world is doing, and not even the world, but people around you in your close circle, that you can either become intimidated by what they're doing, or you can be encouraged about what they're doing. You could be provoked by what somebody is doing, or you could be stifled by what somebody is doing. So don't let age ever stop you. Don't ever think that you're too young or too old to start or stop something, because you're right where you need to be. And so when I talk about, I know 40 and 5, super fine, right? And so being an educator, I've been in education for the end of next month will be 19 years in public education. And so being a reading teacher by vocation, I believe that everything works together for the good of us. We can take whatever skills, whatever knowledge that we have learned, and we can use those same skills to apply it to different things. And so being a reading teacher, poetry has always been one of the things that I like a whole lot. And so I always like to take the titles, and Pretty Heal is one of the signature talks that I do. I have a mentorship program from women, and I have a mentorship program for young girls, and it's called Becoming Pretty Heal. And one thing about becoming, be is a verb. I think Tamika talked about, self-care being a verb. You have to take action. You have to actually do something about it. And so remember, we are human beings. We are not human doers. A lot of times people get confused at what somebody does versus who they really are. See, it's a character issue. Becoming pretty healed is an inside job. It's not just looking beautiful. Like, we all want to look beautiful. We all want to take care of ourselves. And Miss Shanika just talked about some of the things you can do to do self-care, whether you get your hair done or all the other things, but also doing the mind, the meditations, and the body scans and the journaling, right? It's an inside job. And so B is, who are you? Who are you on the inside? Not who we show up to be online, not who we post to be, right? P-O-S-T or P-O-S-E. Who do we pose or post to be? But who are you really? So when I talk about becoming pretty healed, I'm talking about tangible things we can do as men and women to become that integral being that God has already created us to be. And so poetry, I love poetry, so I'm gonna give you an acronym for pretty. I'm only gonna give you pretty, becoming pretty healed, but if you take that first part, I'm telling you, your life will change. And even as I said, like with Tamika is just somebody I just come online and talk to, right? And you have those women, you have those men that you just talk to them online. But when I was going through a really tough, dark moment, she would check on me, right? And it doesn't mean that we're not going to go through things, but it means we have tools and strategies to help us not stay there that long. One of my friends, I call her Storm Chaser. Whenever I have an issue, whenever I have something go on, she always say, Simene, get up, but get up quickly. See, some of us stay in our mess too long. Some of us stay down too long. And not to say that we don't grieve well, not to say we don't go at our own pace, but sometimes it's easy to wallow in sorrow instead of get yourself up and get yourself back together, because guess what? We all got work to do. And so pretty, the first P for pretty is pretty heal, is people. Who are the people in your life? Who are the people in your life that you can depend on, not just when there's a winning season? Because God told me something about success, and I know Shanika said, and that's why I like how God does it, because I'm gonna keep referring to what she said because it ties in right now. She talked about success. God told me one time, he said there's something called traumatic success. People are successful, but then when they go home, they're sad. Their success is not even something that they can celebrate, because it's too traumatic for them, because they don't even have the right people in their lives to actually celebrate what they're doing. So I'm talking about, who are the people in your life? Who are the people closest to you? And those people, what you see in their lives, is that something you want to be followed into your life? Who are the people in your life? I'm talking about becoming pretty healed. My mom used to say this, and I think her grandma probably told her this, her mom or grandma or great grandma, but it says, show me your friends and I'll show you who you are. Show me who your friends are and I'll show you who you are. Show me the people that you're hanging out with and I can show you who you are. If you're a speaker but you're not hanging around with speakers, what you doing? You know what I'm saying? If you're a believer and you don't got other believers that you can be around, what you doing? If you're talking about self-care and you're not around people who prioritize their self-care, what are you doing? If you're talking about becoming pretty healed but the people around you don't want to become pretty healed, what are we doing? This good book that I read says, how can two walk unless they agree? Some of us got to get from around the wrong people. I'm talking about becoming pretty healed. And I heard something. I've been in several programs, and one of the coaches, he said this one time. He says, it's something about practicing your story, but I'm giving you hot food tonight. This is hot food. This is something I ain't never talked about before. This is a spin on that I ain't never gave before, because I know God was downloading something different to energize her, to energize us. Who are the people in your life? The second one is respect. Pretty healed. There's people. The second one is respect. Being a reading teacher, again, RE, that means again. The prefix RE means again. Speck, like speck in your eye to see, right? This good book I read, again, it says this, that why you looking at the log and why you looking at the speck in somebody else's eye? But we got a big log in ours, right? I'm talking about speck. You got to look again, but you got to look again from the lens of what God is calling you from. You got to look again and see yourself for the fearfully and wonderfully made person, woman, or man that God has made you. You got to look again. You got to look again. See yourself again. Yeah, we may have messed up. Yeah, it may be some things that I didn't do, but you look at yourself again. God says, I know the plans that I have for you, and it's of good and not of evil. So look at yourself again. I'm talking about becoming pretty healed. Who are the people in your lives? Respect. How are you looking at yourself? When you fall, do you look at yourself through the failure? Do you look at yourself as, I'm successful and I'm still going to get up and keep moving? Because guess what? The flaws that you see today, the flaws in your life look very flawless to other people. The things that you may not like about yourself, people might be like, oh my gosh. When I first moved to Maryland like 8 years ago, I did not like the fact that I talk the way I talk because from North Carolina, so it sounds very southern to people who have a more northern or a different accent. And it was one day the elder in the church that I used to be a part of, he says, I think you should record yourself on YouTube, just reading the Bible. And I said, why? I don't even like the way I talk. Your flaws look flawless to somebody else. I'm talking about becoming pretty healed. The third one is empathy. Empathy is where you may not be in somebody's situation, but you can relate to them. You don't have to be in somebody's situation to relate to them. And a lot of times, the people that we're connected to, sometimes we get pulled in their mess and we should not be. I remember one of my old pastors used to say that he says, I'm concerned, but I'm not responsible. I'm concerned about you, but I'm not responsible. And sometimes we're taking on the responsibility of pulling people out, pulling women out. And that's not our responsibility. Do I want to be there for you? Do I want to pour into you? Do I want to help you up? But stop carrying the baggage and the luggage of other people. And going back to these people right here, who are the people that's controlling your thoughts? Who are the people that's controlling your mind? Do you know some people are still controlled by people who are dead? I'm talking about physically dead. I'm talking about been gone long time ago. I'm talking about emotionally dead. I'm talking about spiritually dead. Who are the people in your life that's controlling your thoughts and how you're feeling? We can be concerned, but we're not responsible. We got to be more concerned about what it is we're called to do, because we always say this, it's a thing that people say, when you get on the plane, they say, hey, if something happens, put the oxygen mask on yourself first. All that stuff sounds real cute. People say, hey, don't pour from an empty cup. You got to get from your overflow. It sounds real cute until, depending on the person that it's about, well, we may forget all about that stuff and we want to go and help somebody else while we just stringing along. Come on now. I'm talking about becoming pretty healed. The people, the respect, the empathy. The other one is your thoughts. I have a therapist, right? Her name is Dr. Linda Washington Jones. I love the lady. She says this to me. She says, Simene, she calls me Miss Walden. Miss Walden, your feelings don't dictate your thoughts, but your thoughts dictate your feelings. Okay? Your feelings, how we feel, especially as women, we can have all the feels. We can have all the emotions, but our emotions and feelings cannot dictate our thoughts. Our thoughts have to dictate our feelings and what we're doing. You got to think about what you're thinking about. I love what Shanika said. In the morning time, you wake up, you do your body scan, how my head feel, my heart feel, my mind feel, my throat, all those things, right? And when you get up in the morning, what's the first thing you're thinking about? Is it thinking about grabbing my phone so I can check my messages? Because, when I check some messages on social media and, I get some likes and comments, this dopamine goes to my head. So I feel good about myself. But what are you thinking about? Your feelings don't dictate your thoughts. Your thoughts dictate your feelings. You got to think about what you're thinking about. I'm talking about becoming pretty healed. We got the people in our lives, respect, empathy, thoughts. The other T is for togetherness and time. Togetherness and time. Miss Kara said, no, that's right. No. Togetherness and time. We talk about time management, but it's really our life management, because how much time we have is what we do with this life that we got. So togetherness and time. What are you doing with the time that you have? How do you structure your time? There's a strategy, and I'll give it to you real quick because I'm gonna wrap this thing on up. Time management is a strategy I teach. It's called MSOX. MSOX. What are the things you must do every day? What are the things that you can outsource? You can delegate to somebody else. What are some things that MSOX you can? No, MSOX. What are some things you must do every day? What are some things that you should do every day, but if you don't do it, it doesn't have a big it's not going to be a huge negative effect to you, right? What is the things you should outsource every day? And then X, what are some things you just got to cross out every day? So you can manage your time, and if you do these things before you go to bed at night, you will save yourself about 15 minutes in the morning, because you already know you prepare. And sometimes it's even more when you look at the stats. What are some things you must do every day? What are some things you should do every day? What are some things you can outsource? And then what are some things you can just X out and say, that's a great idea, I really want to do it, but I actually can't get to it today. And then the last one is yes. And togetherness, right? How can two walk unless they agree? Who are you in agreement with? What are you in agreements with? There's a lot of things going on. There's a lot of things that's out here in the world. There's a lot of knowledge these days. What are you in agreement with? What is resonating with your spirit? Who are you walking together with? And then the last one is the yes. Yes. The dirty yes. Overcoming the dirty yes. Brene Brown is a renowned speaker and educator in the educational world. Some of you may know her. I heard about her, but she talked about the dirty yes. And I put my own spin onto it. Yes is affirmative or agreement, right, with something. But overcoming the dirty yes means stop telling everybody else yes while you keep saying no to yourself. Stop saying yes to everybody else and you keep saying no to yourself. I'm talking about overcoming the dirty yes. This is how we can practically become pretty healed. Who are the people in your lives? What are the things that they say to you and encourage you to do or not do? How do you see yourself again when things happen? You got to look again. Sometimes you got to really look again at yourself and say, you know what? I am who God has told me to be. One of the things that I start doing every morning is I get up in the mirror and I encourage you guys to do this. Write down 3 to 5 affirmations for yourself. Say it in the morning. Take it like a vitamin. Say it 3 times a day. Say it in the morning. Look straight at yourself because I can see the comments, but all I'm seeing is me. Right? My face. So you say these affirmations to you, positive affirmation every day to yourself. In the morning when you wake up, you can do it in the afternoon or the evening, get your phone and cut your camera on. And then at night before you go to bed, you got to affirm yourself. You got to affirm yourself before we can, go run and look to other people. We got to affirm who God has called us to be. And I'll share this last thing with you ladies, and then I will invite Tamika back to the stage. I was listening to a message today and I said, yes, Lord. Being a woman of faith, being a woman, a believer of this good book called the Bible, she talked about being anointed. You're not just anointed for right now. You're not just anointed for what happened to you last year or 10 years ago or last week, but you're anointed for what's to come. Keep doing the work on yourself. Keep aligning yourself with the right people. Become pretty healed. And you're going to get everything that you need. The H, and this is just a couple bonuses for you, is ask for help when you need it. E is the encourage yourself. A is know that you're anointed. And L is love, 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 but love yourself most. I love you guys tonight. Be blessed in Jesus' name. Tamika, I thank you so much for the opportunity to come on and share with you ladies tonight. And so God bless you, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you so much, Simene. Listen, I want this to go on forever. Every time I hear you speak, I'm just like, I'm just gonna sit back, I'm observing, I'm just soaking it all in. You are feeding me. It's that whole thing of we're pouring so much life into others, and we have to make sure that we're pouring life back. We're allowing life to be poured back into us, and that's exactly what you do every time I hear your voice. And I just thank you for showing up. I appreciate you for being here. I thank you for pouring out your message and how God has given it to you to give to us tonight. I just appreciate you. I love you. And I'm just excited that you're here. So thank you. Make sure, as a matter of fact, hold on, before I say make sure, how can everyone find you and connect with you and stay connected with you and work more towards becoming pretty healed? Okay.
So, guys, I love you, Tamika. Thank you so much. So you can go to Simene Walden. You see my name right here, SimeneWalden.com. You type in Simene on any of the social media platforms. It's Simene Walden, so you can find me there. On TikTok, it's Simene Speaks, but just go look for me and then connect with me.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. So I'm adding it here to the screen so that you all can see it. SimeneWalden.com and Simene Walden across all platforms. Simene Walden is Simene Walden. Y'all Google her, okay?
Right.
So I'm excited. Thank you so much. I appreciate you, Simene, my sister. I appreciate you. I love you. And I look forward to connecting and doing more. Like we're just getting started with this thing. We're just getting started. I'm excited. So thank you. I appreciate you. Make sure you all go and connect with Simene. Go connect. She's a gem. Okay.
Right. Love you.
Bye. Love you too. Awesome. 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 Listen. If y'all didn't get fed with that presentation right there, with the, I don't even want to call it a presentation. I'm gonna call it a pastor, a sermon. As a matter of fact, I need to pass a collection plate, okay? Because she dropped some good gems upon us that is going to allow us to really move forward in our lives. If you didn't get a chance to write down each of the acronyms of the word pretty, go back through the notes here. I think I can call them out pretty quickly. I think Latasha, you did a good job of it, but just go back through the slides, or either just catch the replay because she's right at the beginning, so you won't have to go too far to tune in. So what are we going to do right now? We're going to have our lively panel.